Imagine your home turning against you, Travis.
It does. Our house sucks.
Yes, and it's not even haunted. When the walls drip with strange liquids. We've heard this before. Very similar. Unseen hands drag you across the floor. A hooded figure waits at the foot of your bed. In Pontefract, England, one family lived this nightmare. For years they lived it. This just wasn't a week or two. This was a decade in the making. They called it the Black Monk, Britain's most violent haunting. Tonight we'll uncover the truth behind the terror and see if the legend hides something even darker than just ghosts. All right, let's get into this whole haunting, this poltergeist, for my second poltergeist episode. I think we're going to
kick off the slides and get into this, delve into this action. I'm going to get fucking 2 knuckles deep into Black Monk.
All
Racist.
Right. Okay, the family that is involved in this horrifying story is the Pritchard family, consisting of Joe and Jean, the mama and the papa. Children, Philip, 15, and Diane, somewhere between 12 and 14. We don't know. I don't know the exact
How long
date.
ago is this?
19 in the six. We're in the 60s.
Not long enough ago that you don't know how old your kid is when you're telling this.
Well, from the research of stories, there's varying accounts.
They lost her for a couple years. They started over.
Now, Jean's sister was Sarah Scholes, was at the house for the holidays when the activity started up. So there are basically 5 people at the start of this, and this goes for a while.
Sarah Scholes? Any relation to Muscle?
No. Like I said, the haunting took place in the mid to late 60s was when it started. The house sits in an estate, post-war council housing development built in the 1950s.
The fuck is a post-war council housing
I
development?
don't know.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to look it up.
I had to look up.
I have a feeling I know exactly what it is, but I'm going to double check it.
Now, Pontefract is a historic market town known for its medieval castles and its role in the English Civil War. The neighborhood was seen as a quiet working-class area at the time, making the later violence of the haunting all that more shocking.
Fuck? Publicly funded housing built by local councils, primarily in the United Kingdom following the World War II, with the aim of addressing the severe housing shortage. Yeah, that's what.
So Habitat for Humanity,
yeah.
basically.
H2H, Ronald McDonald House.
All right.
Ronald McDonald House for war.
Now the
Grimace House.
Right. This land that this town sits upon, and especially where this house sits upon, does have a dark past. Local legends holds
Indian
that
burial ground.
30 East Drive sits on or near the site of the town's old gallows from the 16th century. This execution ground, reportedly used for public hangings. I thought gallows were...
No, that's a guillotine.
Oh, that's a guillotine. You're right. My bad.
Yeah, Gallows is a really good Paleface Swiss song, too.
Okay. Here we go again. Used for public hanging, particularly for those convicted of violent crimes.
Yeah.
Which, why else would you hang somebody?
That's bullshit. They're trying to cover their ass. You did not have to be a violent offender to get fucking hung back in the day. Like, this man, why are you hanging this man? He called my wife a bitch. Pull the lever.
A 16th century monk allegedly sexually assaulted, and murdered a young girl.
Kill him?
He was convicted, defrocked, and executed by hanging, possibly near where the Pritchard home now stands.
That's such a good word.
Defrocked.
Yeah. They need to be defrocked more than motherfuckers and stop sending them around the world.
Now, some believe his tortured spirit might be that of the Black Monk.
Racist.
Yes. Has nothing to do with color.
Why is he going to be tortured, too?
Well, interesting fact.
The Black Monk was tortured.
There are no official court records have ever been found about this monk.
What the fuck do you expect to find from the 16th century?
Actually, I think this was the 11th century.
Yeah, what?
Now, there was a priory, which is, I guess, a church ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From the 11th century to
priory.
The dissolution of the monasteries under Henry VIII. So I don't know exactly what year that was, but I assume 1700s, somewhere in that range. I don't know. Now let's get to the folklore. West Yorkshire has a long tradition of ghost stories and household spirits known for poltergeist-like pranks and violence. In folklore, the spirits are often linked to these religious roots in the area.
Oh, not even.
What?
Henry VIII died in 1547.
So 1600s.
Yeah. No, not even.
Well, the 16th century.
Yeah. Damn. How the fuck do you look like that? You're only, well, I guess he made it into his 50s. But holy shit. You would imagine that this painting was from earlier than right before he died. And he only lived from 1491 to 1547. He was like, what 9, 40, 50, a couple years older than you? And you'd imagine this was probably painted of him like 30 years before he died.
I think I could pull that outfit off.
He looks like John Goodman in fucking The Big Lebowski with a fancy outfit.
But due to the religious roots of this area, this is part of the reason why they came up.
Excuse me.
Or why the term or the name Black Monk was given to this entity. And I kind of go into a little bit more here in a little bit. The Black Monk case emerged in the mid-60s and went all the way, well, it goes on for a while. I'll kind of cover that later on. The wave of poltergeist interest in Britain, fueled by cases like I should say, a better way to say it, this was at the time when poltergeists were hot. This is mid-70s. The Enfield poltergeist was 77. So
yeah.
Poltergeists were in vogue at the time in the mid-70s in Britain.
Vogue.
Catholic
because Poltergeist came out
in the 80s, 81.
Yeah, but not late in the
81,
80s.
82.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I think somewhere in that range.
They were chic.
Yes, chic is a better word. The Black Monk, where was it? Oh, Catholic and Protestant tensions in Pontefract earlier centuries could have also helped the monks' legends persist. So basically, there was feuding between the Catholics and the Protestants, and it kind of kept this story of this horrific monk who did these horrific things.
Oh yeah, because
in the forefront.
Good. If it's true, fuck them. That's what should have happened. They should have fucked them before they hung them.
Now, the Protestants often vilified the monks of the time, so
that still happens.
There is, I guess, a possibility that this folklore could be a little bit, I don't want to say, or maybe exaggerated to a certain extent.
Almost like propagandized.
Right.
Rhetoric, even.
Yeah, I mean, that's very possible.
You got to dig through some big black tape.
Yes. Now, I think it is important. You have to understand the time period and the cultural backdrop of Britain at this time.
Rough. A lot of people don't know.
Yeah. Britain was in the midst of a cultural shift at this time in the mid-70s, or early to mid-70s. Rapid urban development and new housing estates were being built over older, historical, significant land. Hence, this particular area.
Yeah, this is like the birth of like the good skinheads.
Spiritualism and interest,
no one.
and the interest in the paranormal were kind of experiencing a revival with TV shows, books, and newspapers covering psychic phenomenon. During the late 50s and early 60s, there was a rise in film and TV literature.
I just did that right in the microphone.
That was referred to as kitchen sink realism. I had to look this up. I've never heard of this.
No.
Basically what this is, it portrayed working class life as unvarnished or often in gritty ways. Stories centered on ordinary people, often living in cramped council flats in industrial towns with blue-collar jobs and limited prospects. So the poor and destitute.
Subliminal propaganda.
Right. And this was kind of, the kitchen sink realism was kind of,
I thought you said porn destitute for a second. I was like, I don't think that was that big of a fucking industry back then.
I think they were really focusing in on how hard things were post World War II in Britain. So
yeah,
there was
that's
a realism about it.
That's what the masses are dealing with, so that's what you're going to make.
But the kitchen sink metaphor comes from the way everyday household life.
Everything in there.
What?
You just throw everything in there.
From the way everyday household life is shown in all of its messy details. It was like reality. They were reporting in the newspapers and literature, kind of like the real world.
It's kind of perfect. Kitchen sink.
Right.
Like, oh, you just keep throwing shit in there, and then once it starts to grow, then we got something.
I look at it, it's not like Facebook, because we all know those motherfuckers on Facebook. they post, "Oh, how my life is great. I love my family."
Yeah.
But yet you were talking to them 2 days before, and they were bad mouthing their
Yeah,
husband or wife.
they're literally like, I think I'm getting fucking
But
divorced.
yet everything they post is, "Oh, life is good.
Like,
I
just had the best day at the pumpkin patch with the love of my life, my wife and my child." And then you see them later that same day, and they're like half cocked, spent fucking $30 on some type of internet gambling, and they're just like, I don't even want to fucking go home. I hate it. I hate it there. All I eat is DiGiorno's, and I'm only allowed to drink water, and I hate it so much.
But I think at this time in Britain, there was, I'm sure life is always, people always portray their home life to strangers or other people in a much better light than what it really is.
Except us.
Except us. We suck. The kitchen sink metaphor comes from the way everyday household life is shown in all of its messy glory. Arguments over dinner table, arguments over chores, and small domestic dramas are as important as big events in this time.
That's
reality.
Still today,
right?
Because you're just showing people the reality that they're living. You're making it not weird for people to live life.
Like I was saying before, it was kind of like the start of reality media, essentially, because this is more of a media thing. They weren't sugarcoating anything. They were showing it in all of its nasty.
Yeah, it was like a less sugar-coated sitcom.
Exactly. Due to the shift in the media, it was a perfect for tales of violent hauntings in ordinary households that resonate deeply with the public public imagination.
It was Married with Children if there was domestic assault abuse.
Yeah.
like everybody thought there was going to be.
But with this cultural shift in the way they viewed, I guess, family matters, I think this was a perfect breeding ground for some of the popularity of like why this story or this haunting exploded, why the Enfield Poltergeist exploded. It was just a perfect recipe for people were fascinated by it because it was real, it was gritty, it was hardcore.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just all sugar plums and daisies and unicorns and roses.
Yeah.
And rainbows.
And fucking bitches in white dresses walking across the first landing of the stairs.
Now, this case was picked up by the press just not because of the bizarre events. They picked it up, or the working class, ordinary people really gravitated to this because they saw themselves in it. And it led, and the people who were also experiencing it and who witnessed it were also one of them.
Yeah.
So it gave it credibility, essentially. But this is part of the reason why the Black Monk ghost
racist
took off. And why? Because it kind of triggered something deep cultural within the people.
I bet it did. That's why they named him the Black Monk.
It got in there and went and just hit the spot.
They say
you can do that. I don't know.
Yeah, they said the Ghost Monk of Pontefract, and nobody gave a fuck. And then they said the Black Monk of Pontefract, and every dad that frequents the pubs in the area went, "What? Did you say black? Oi, who are you?"
All right, let's
another pint in me billy club.
Now let's get to the stuff why we came here, what we really wanted to talk about.
Start talking about people getting thrown out windows and shit.
About the disturbances and the escalation that preceded the calm. Let's start with the calm before the storm. Late in the summer of 1966, the Pritchard family lived a quiet life on East Drive. Philip was home with Sarah during the when the strange shit started popping off.
She levitated and got ripped in 4 pieces.
The first encounter set the tone for what was about to come. Now, this is what happened first. It started small, and it was a grower.
It's just like a dick.
It wasn't a shower.
It starts small, and then it gets slightly more impressive over time.
with a little stroking and work.
It starts and you question things, and then something big happens. And you go, there it is.
There it is. First signs was water puddles appeared on the kitchen floor. The water was clean, had no clear source, and appeared basically in circles, which I think pretty much all water puddles are in circles.
I mean, it just depends on the how level that area of the floor is, really. But also, fuck off. I don't find that to be at all creepy.
Well, hold on.
I work in a restaurant. I walk into puddles every day that have no fucking explanation.
their first line of defense was, hey, let's call a plumber.
Yeah.
They called a plumber, but they could find no leaky pipes.
I got a leaky pipe.
The puddles would reappear moments after being mopped up. This became the first documented anomaly in the haunting.
So they had a subterranean leak.
Maybe, but I doubt it.
A water main break, perhaps?
I'm sure the plumbers checked for that too. Okay. Now, as in all great haunting stories,
someone died.
No.
Black guy.
Things escalate.
Black guy died first.
Soon after the
one of the weigh-ins.
Soon after the puddles, white dust or powder
cocaine
rained down inside the living room. Maybe this was a party house. I don't know.
Or perhaps it's just a shitty old house.
Could it just be dust? That's
what I'm saying. The kid walks across the ceiling loud as fuck, and you're like, "Oi, shut the fuck up! You can't." And like,
now I'm not big on my drug history, but in '66 was cocaine a thing.
Cocaine. Was it around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
cocaine's been around forever.
I know it got big in the late '70s, early '80s.
Yeah, cocaine's been around for a long time.
I learned that from Forrest Gump.
Yeah, cocaine's been around for a really long time, in one form or the other.
Okay, I'm
it's
not
like heroin. Heroin's been around since like the 1800s.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So it's put cocaine and coke. Literally, that's the true story.
This could have been just somebody's stash up in the ceiling.
Or literally just I instantly go to shitty house. You have kids. They're running around upstairs being little fuckers, and it's just fucking like, I don't know what.
Now it is important to
of
note,
some sort.
I have to say, but just for argument's sake, I should say this white powder. They did do a little investigation, and they noticed the windows were all closed when that would happen, so it wasn't something blowing in from the outside. But anyway,
so far I have yet to hear anything that would ever think is.
Don't worry. This is the beginning. It escalates. Lights would begin flickering, often in a rhythmic pattern, as if somebody was flicking the lights.
That's not abnormal, though.
Well, in a pattern, yes. I would say a pattern's a little bit different.
Well, yeah.
Or maybe
because my mind automatically went to fluorescent lights. Fluorescent lights very much pattern.
Right, but
who the fuck has fluorescent lights in
Philip
their house?
was an aspiring DJ.
That's where the dust came from.
Probably.
That explains all of it. The lights were fucking flickering to the beat of his house music, which was knocking dust off the ceiling.
Case closed.
He said,
we solved it. Their grandfather clock began swaying and ticking erratically, and before stopping
grandfather
entirely.
Clock did what grandfather clocks do.
This one is not like you. I will agree with you. It's not much of a proof of anything.
Isn't that just when you call somebody to come, like, adjust your grandfather clock?
Right. Or just died.
Did they die? Isn't that centrifugal force, those?
I don't know. I'm sure that's mechanical things. I'm sure there's gears and stuff that could wear. And,
oh, yeah. That's bullshit for sure.
Right. Witnesses at this point, people were starting to notice, including neighbors and even local police officers who saw some of this stuff happen that they could not explain.
And the cops are just always there because they're getting called because the.
Now, this is at the point where things get a little bit more aggressive. Cupboard doors would bang open and slam shut
now repeatedly.
We're talking. Potted plants were knocked over without anyone being in the room or anywhere near. Now, I'm hoping they did check to make sure the window was fucking closed.
Yeah. Did they have a cat?
That I do not know if they had a pussy.
I'm calling bullshit. They just lived in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
At night, loud banging came from the walls, so loud it could be heard by the neighbors.
That was the house music.
Now, originally, the family nicknamed this entity Fred, and
Drop Dead Fred.
It was done in a way they named it Fred to
try to like
de-escalate it, to make it a little bit more humorous. So it wasn't so daunting or scary.
Yeah, like you're like, we have children. Let's name it Fred. I really wanted to call it Ignatius the Destroyer.
Now, the violent poltergeist activity started to begin. The ghost began, or the spirit, or the entity began to target family members. Philip seemed to be the first that it focused on.
Because that's the dad, right?
No, Philip is the 15-year-old boy.
Okay. It was you.
Yes.
You were British in your past life. You're part of the Witness Protection Agency, you son of a bitch.
Well, I would be a little bit older than I am if this was me. I would be closer to my 70s probably.
The glory days.
Or at least mid to late 60s.
Glory days.
His bed would shake violently at night.
Well,
That's called jacking off.
Yeah, it's called a boys will be boys.
Later, attention shifted to Diane, the teenage daughter, which coincides with the common phenomenon, paranormal theory of a poltergeist, often centers on adolescent females. We've covered this ad nauseum in the past. Diane she reported feeling cold hands clutch her neck in the night.
That was her brother jacking off.
On one occasion, she was pulled from her bed by her ankles.
Her brother.
Dragged across the room, and then dragged upstairs. Up the stairs, not down the stairs. Now, if this is
like when you fall up the stairs because you missed the step.
Okay, Biden. Okay, Biden. But if she was dragged up the stairs, this is interesting. If this account is real,
especially if somebody else saw it, because you couldn't do that to yourself without somebody being like, you're doing that yourself.
Right. You could fake.
Maybe if you were like some type of physical actor, but
here's the thing. I think if the spirit world and ghosts are real, or even demonic entities are real, I think their power is limited in this realm. This would
they're not just dragging British bitches upstairs.
This would take an enormous amount of power and energy to
you and I would
pull this off.
You and I would struggle to pull this off with somebody, and we're physical beings in this realm. How the fuck is something gonna like cross over and be like, gotcha, bitch?
But I think if this is actually 100% true, or I'm assuming somebody witnessed this as well. What?
It's just, the more we talk about this, I'm like, it had to be the Black Monk, like doing all this fucked up shit in the 60s.
I think this might be exaggerated, but if this is real, this is one of the most fascinating parts of the case, essentially. If it's real,
we just talked about, or what you're about to talk about?
No, what we just talked about. Okay. The pulling up the stairs.
Oh yeah,
you can't fake, like you said, you can't fake it.
Yeah, could you imagine how fucking stupid somebody would be? Like, oh no, someone's dragging me up the stair. Ow.
I've met some good actors in my day, but nobody's that good.
I'm sure there's somebody that could pull it off, but it would be like one of those, like the people that do the acting for like Gollum and shit like that, like that are like fucking circus freaks physically.
Now, is it important? It's an important piece of evidence relating to this particular event. The girl, Diane, did have finger-shaped bruises around her neck after this. Like somebody was physically choking her.
Yeah, I mean it's easily faked, but given the combination of events.
Right.
Was she dragged up the stairs? She was dragged up the stairs by her ankles, right?
That's the way I researched it. That's every account that I saw. But she was also, you got to remember, it started out.
And did people see this?
I'm assuming people saw it.
Because that's very much something, it had to.
I would think.
It's very much something that if you try to tell somebody, they're going to be like, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
Even if your house is haunted, they're going to be like, oh, fuck off. It knocks fucking teacups off during morning crumpets. It doesn't drag bitches. Like, it's not Mike Tyson. Like,
the outright terror and violence did continue. Furniture was overturned in seconds. Dining tables flipped with food on them.
Oh, hell no. Not with that around.
Fuck that shit.
You shitting me?
Cabinets were hurled down the stairs. I'm assuming.
Why the fuck do you have cabinets upstairs?
I'm assuming maybe cabinets they're referring to like end tables type thing.
Oh, British stuff.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Where they call stuff stupid shit, even though they
religious items and such as crucifixes were vandalized.
Vandalized?
Crosses inverted or torn off the wall.
Oh, okay. Like spray painted?
In one chilling episode,
Jesus is gay.
In one chilling episode, green foam began pouring from the water tap and filling the sink.
Well,
we don't know. It's interesting. I will say
that's another one of those things that I feel like could probably have an
explanation. There could be
a
scientific reason for it.
Yeah, somebody like flushed some little shit that flushed fucking Alka-Seltzer down the toilet.
I might jump a little ahead.
Somebody poured Pop Rocks and Pepsi.
Now, we've covered Poltergeist. This sounds a lot like
it's Poltergeist adjacent.
but this also has a little bit of a demonic twist.
Which, I mean,
to
the
it.
two are kind of fucking
Well, see,
not hand in hand, but like,
here's a theory. Let's throw this out there. I'm not an
I
expert.
think it was mimicking a poltergeist.
What if like I said, just for a refresher, poltergeist is basically telekinetic energy from generally a young female, prepubescent, becoming a woman. Her emotional psyche, I guess, interacts with the atmosphere and causes things to happen.
As you know, bears can smell the menstruation.
What if this also opens the door to maybe something a little bit more entity?
Well, because there is a lot of
the veil a little bit.
Because there is a lot of like menstrual blood, virgin blood shit in
Ritual types.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that. But
going back a long time.
if you are having poltergeist activity, which is a child or a person, generally female, causing this stuff basically with their mind and energy.
And then you have that causing a thinning of the veil.
Maybe it's like a beacon to maybe something a little darker or a ghost or spirits. It's like that.
Because it's not a ghost, but it's opening up your mind to thinking that you have a ghost.
Right.
And then, fucking Beelzebub's like, that's my bitch right there.
Now, that's a good point. So there's one, two. Could it open a door to...
One, two, buckle your shoe, you got a fucking demon.
Could it open a door to where something would see it, like a lighthouse or beacon, and come to it? Or did it, through the power of suggestion in the person who is causing the poltergeist activity, then it moves to more of this religious angle, like vandalizing or religious artifacts? Because
as in it stayed a poltergeist, but it started to evolve
or mimic
its
demonic or spirits, because that's what the person who is causing it is thinking it is.
Tulpa.
Well, not really a tulpa, but more of a misunderstanding. Say
subconscious manipulation.
Say this was a cross. Say, who is this again?
Tech 9.
Tech 9 was a cross, and I'm a young girl.
I have more. It would be easier for you to be the cross and that to be the young girl.
Probably. But I'm interacting. I'm causing things.
That's the Black Monk.
I'm causing
Racist.
things. I'm causing things to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's a ghost. It's a true, legitimate, intelligent haunting.
You just call this little black man a ghost?
No.
You know what a fucking.
This
You know
is
what
a cross.
you know what a
This is not-
synonym for ghost is, don't you?
This is a cross at the present time.
Okay.
I think it's a ghost.
Yeah.
My telekinetic energy is thinking it's a ghost, so that rips off the wall, because that's what I think a ghost would do. You see what I'm, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Subconscious manipulation of what's
Exactly.
already happening around you.
Much better way of saying it. If the girl was the cause of the poltergeist activity,
Kill that bitch. She's
dragging
a witch.
dragging her up the stairs
Right.
is kind
Especially, I would like to know if there's more clarification, because the by the ankles thing, really weird. If it's not by the ankles, much easier to pull off.
True.
I mean,
it's
if
by,
Linda
like,
if
the
Linda
hair-
Blair could crab walk down those stairs and up the wall,
That is still
because that is not CGI. Everybody knows that. She's just that talented.
I don't know this for sure.
She's got Popeye forearms. She's just gripped into the wall like a spider.
And maybe this is my fault for not researching this a little bit. But you would think, if somebody knows, leave a comment.
Somebody will. The comments
On
are
a
so much
poltergeist
smarter than
activity,
us.
you would think your mind is causing the female or the person's
The adolescent.
mind is causing this activity.
Yeah.
You would think, because your mind is designed to protect yourself.
Mm.
That's why if you experience too much pain, you go into shock.
Yeah.
So you don't feel the pain. Your brain will cut it off at some point. It will protect you
Yeah.
to a certain extent. You would think if your mind is causing this, your brain is causing this activity, it would not allow itself to actually physically hurt you to that extent, drag you up. I don't know.
But at the same time, I think the caveat to that, or I don't know if caveat's the right word, the juxtaposition of that thought process versus having the same thought process and then throwing in the small variable of pubescence and massive hormonal imbalance.
I guess you could also say, depending on the mental state of the person who might be
And
a little more likely to harm themselves.
A hormonal imbalance mixed with technically, scientifically, still undeveloped brain.
Now, like the grabbing from the ankles and pulling from the bed,
that
could be. Listen, I've damn near fell off a bed.
I have fallen off a bed.
Waking up kind of weird and rolling the wrong way, and boom.
You've never. What I did was it was high school, and I went to like fucking turn off my alarm in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was sleeping right on the edge of the bed. So I just went like it immediately fell off the bed, and my nightstand was like against the wall, and then like space my bed. So then you got like chubby me having to like fucking like break dance myself up off the ground because there's not very much space in there. I didn't want to have to call for help like a fat turtle man.
It happens.
just arms and legs.
Do we need to get
help?
Did you need a life alert?
Like fucking yeah.
Oh, and I can't get up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
happens.
Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, let's get back. By the late 60s, the hauntings had become relentless, occurring at all hours, sometimes multiple times a day. Diane's physical assaults became more severe.
And this started when?
66.
It started in 66?
66. By the late 60s.
So not a long period.
Well, just hold on. Diane's physical assaults became more severe, with choking, scratches, and in one instance where she was almost thrown into her wardrobe. She putting her in, whatever it was, putting her in the closet. What?
Narnia.
Yeah. Chronicles of Narnia. The family began fearing for their lives. But however, they refused to move, partly due to financial reasons, because given the kitchen,
who the fuck has money?
given the kitchen sink realism, obviously they were poor, and partly out of stubbornness, which I kind of get too.
Can't we just move? I've put fucking water in the milk for the last 3 fucking days. No, Diane, we can't fucking move.
Now, it did seem to peak in the late 60s and going into the 70s.
Right around that acid era.
Going to the 70s, it seemed to, what? Maybe.
You're creeping into the hallucinogen and psychedelic times.
But in the 70s, it became more sporadic over the years, with periods of calm followed by a violent resurgence.
So the older the pubescent girl got, the more sporadic it got.
But it would get violent again, but it wasn't the continual night after night, multiple times.
It would only get violent when somebody broke up with her.
Now, who else saw these? Saw some of this besides the family, friends, neighbors, and even a local bishop in the Church of England experienced the disturbance firsthand. When the bishop was present, the Bible was thrown across the room, which,
of course,
was something. Did the poltergeist activity invite something else in, or
did it get pissed off because of the bishop?
Right, or was this the girl thinking that's what should happen? It's chicken or the egg kind of question, right? Even visiting police constables saw objects moving. Now, like I said earlier, I like it when cops see things. And a
very astute addition to this,
because they are a little bit more credible. Like our last, last episode. I think they are a little bit more credible than just
idyllically, yes.
Billy Bob.
Nowadays, I don't know. I literally just watched a fucking video of a cop and either his backup or his partner engaging in a firefight and shooting out the back window of his cruiser because an acorn fell on it while he was doing a stop, and he thought it was a gunshot.
I just wonder how. I see. Here's the thing. I don't believe any of the shit I see on the internet.
There was 2 angles of this one.
Okay, now I told you earlier they named the spirit Fred. Now let's get in how things escalated. During the initial haunting, they named it Fred. Like I said, a way to make it a little less frightening. As the hauntings escalated, family members and visitors began reporting a dark, hooded figure, which this kind of hurts the poltergeist theory.
Yeah, because poltergeists don't traditionally
have apparitions.
Yeah.
Or
shadows even. They don't even, like, they don't have that. I don't know of any major poltergeist case that I've ever heard of having any physical representation of an actual entity.
And this is part of the reason why I came up with what I talked about earlier. I do think there was some poltergeist activity here, but did it invite something, or
was it just something else the whole time,
or stir up something in the atmosphere? It's with the history of the ground. Now, like I said, they saw a dark hooded figure, a tall silhouette dressed in a long robe, often standing at the foot of beds or in doorways. The figure's clothing resembled that of a traditional monk's robe.
Yeah.
Hence the Black Monk.
In nomine Patria Spiritus Sancti.
Now, throw in the history of the executed monk, and the Black Monk is basically a no-brainer. I mean, the press eventually began calling it the Black Monk of Pontefract. The haunting is believed to have spanned from August of 66 to the mid-70s, with later sporadic reports continuing into modern times.
See, but that's not that horribly uncommon for real.
Well, in the mid-70s, there was a decline. Incidents reported becoming less violent and less frequent. Some attribute this to Diane reaching adulthood.
Yeah. Her frontal lobe fully developing, all that shit.
Supporting the poltergeist theory. The Pritchards eventually experienced only occasional minor disturbances. Most sources say that the family moved out of the house sometime between 74 and 75. Now, local occupants still report strange happenings, though never on the same scale as what Diane and the Pritchard family had to deal with.
And I don't really put shit on that because strange happenings could be so minuscule. You know what I mean? Like, it could legitimately just be odd things that are completely explainable, but because of the history of the home, you're like, oh my God, Walter, call the fucking Pope.
Now, so let's kind of cover the time frame from the 80s to the present time. Later residents and paranormal investigators have claimed activity still occurs, though not at the same intensity. Most ghost hunt reports explain noises, moving objects, and shadow figures. The house now operates as a paid paranormal attraction, with visitors reporting Fred still makes his presence known.
That's good.
Which,
See, that's my other thing. How the fuck do you land on the Black Monk of Pontefract for this when he's still around?
What do you mean he's still? Shut the fuck up. Jesus
Racist.
Christ. This is why we don't have any viewers.
If there was if there was a ching chong bing bong China ghost, then I would make the same fucking racist joke. Well, not the same jokes, but
all right.
I'd be over here and be like, oh, did it eat the dog?
If you haven't, I'm just ignoring you right now. If you haven't noticed, we like to cover all bases. We like to throw out the counter arguments here.
Because that's where all the answers come from. The answers don't come from looking for things to be what they are.
You have to look at the good with the bad, the science with the fiction, or the fiction with the science.
Yeah.
You have to look at it all. Now, theories. Spiritual haunting, a vengeful spirit of the executed monk haunting the land, right? Poltergeist, psychokinesis, which
and that's a direct connection. The executed monk.
Right.
Like, we're not talking like a adjacent property. We're talking physically that's the spot.
That is the lore. That is the house sits upon where the gallows was.
Okay.
Now, how accurate is that?
Probably not very.
I mean, could it just be in the same general vicinity?
I mean, it's the whole thing of like, does anybody know where Leonardo DiCaprio's buried in New York City? No. Because his headstone, him and Bill the Butcher's and the priest's headstones dilapidated and fell apart over the years. And they were forgotten.
What makes the poltergeist theory
fun?
Well, it started with Philip and it moved to Diane.
Mm.
Generally, you would think maybe it'd stick to if she was causing it.
Unless he was just the first to notice it.
Maybe it's possible. It's murky. Who knows? Demonic or residual haunting.
It sounds residual considering they're saying shit kept happening after they left.
I mean, this could be residual. It could be intelligent, and it could be demonic, and it could be.
This is a residual, intelligent, demonic poltergeist.
I mean, like some of the activity could be residual. I'm no expert, but residual energy or haunting is not going to drag somebody up a stairs.
Yes, you are. You're a demonologist. You have the piece of paper and everything.
I can't find it. I looked for it the other day. I was going to
Just
hang it
go
up.
fucking find it in your email and reprint it out.
I don't even know if I still have it. It might be in there somewhere. I probably erased it. This is kind of weird because it hits all the fucking markers.
Yeah.
Maybe it is everything. I don't know.
It's the Bruce Jenner of ghosts.
Now, skeptics also argue that the monk story lacks official documentation, which is very, very valid.
They all do. And the story of the monk. Okay.
Actually.
Got it.
Right. Could be an old wives' tale.
Even if that was a real person and that really happened, that shit, he could have been fucking killed 400 miles away. And it just fucking works its way down it trickles down the rabbit hole that is word of mouth.
Right. Now,
what's her name? The Annalise Michelle thing with the defunct priest from like fucking 400 years ago that was apparently one of the demons that was haunting her.
Oh, that's right.
But he was from like he was like from another fucking country or some shit.
They were all bitching about Hitler, yeah.
Yeah. Hitler's a dick.
Yeah.
Go figure. Whoever would have thought. That was the least surprising part of that story, is that actual named demons were like, Hitler's a fucking douche. Fucking hate that guy.
Now, skeptics argue that the lack of monk stories is not...
The lack of monk stories.
The monk story is very fucking sketchy.
It's just so... it's so long ago, and like there's so much of that shit going on.
There are always... there's always those shitty commenters, but there's always those people...
We tend to find them.
There's always those people that think, like, say, for this instance, this haunting was just fabricated to boost that story.
But did they make any money off of it?
No, I don't.
If you're not making money off of it, I feel like you can kind of take that off the table.
Now, this, like I said, this did get a lot of media attention. A British author and paranormal research, Colin Wilson, devoted a section of his book Poltergeist to the story, where he interviewed the surviving family members, locals, framing the haunting as one of the most violent in record in Britain.
I don't believe that.
Well, in a haunting, I mean, this is, if the story is true.
What about the fucking ancient Ram Inn? That's still got shit going on.
Yeah, but we're talking violence. We're talking about the what?
Apparently, the Ram has fucking succubus and an incubus sucking and fucking in there.
Is the Ram Inn? I thought the Ram Inn was in Canada.
No, because it's like fucking 1,000 years old.
Of course, this book was like in the 80s. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure that building's like 1,000 years old. Part of it, at least.
This book was in the 80s.
They got a bitch that's a witch working it.
She's like, I can give you the fucking blessing of the Dark Lord.
But this book gave the case international attention, drawing ghost hunters and curious tourists to West Yorkshire. Like I said, it operates as a paid paranormal fucking site now, so you get a bunch of ghost hunting teams going in there.
That's where it gets fucking foggy for me. Is like, where's the paper trail?
Right.
Because there is one.
That's true. Now, there was a movie that was loosely based on the Pritchard family ordeal. In 2012, When the Lights Went Out, it was basically dramatized the events with fictional characters, and naturally, it was a little bit more exaggerated.
I'm trying to think if I've seen that or not. It doesn't ring a bell.
While it's not a documentary, the movie reintroduces the haunting to a younger audience and boosted even more interest in what happened on 30 East Drive.
Did you know there's a new Conjuring coming out?
I'd rather catch herpes.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
I won't,
because it's a scary movie that's coming out.
So, what makes this haunting? We're wrapping her up. We're bringing her down the home stretch. What makes this haunting unique? I think this is kind of a unique haunting, because we hit a lot of bases.
It's the scope,
right? It blends
from a how do I say this without sounding like a fucking like douchey,
too late,
believe everything paranormal person. It's the scope. It's the broad scope of, or it's a broad stroke, even, if you will. I mean, it's like if you have that fucking detective wall with the yarn going everywhere. Somebody took a roller and went across every possible aspect or explanation that it could be.
Well, it covers the worst possible parts of a poltergeist, worst possible parts of an actual haunting,
It sprinkles in some demonic shit.
It's
Because I would have to say that,
it's got folklore
yep,
with the monks being killed,
which adds to the religious part of it, which adds to the demonic shit. Even though the demonic shit, I would have to say, is pretty light in
Right.
this.
Very
Like the cross
It's
thing and the
convenient.
Bible,
it's
that's
convenient.
that's pretty light. Because usually when you're talking about demonic shit, that's when you start talking dilapidation of the home that you can't control, physical unwellness of inhabitants
think-
of the home,
you,
shit
and you
like that.
Start thinking of
Possession,
even oppression a little bit,
infestation,
right? You think,
which is the scariest one, I think.
I think oppression.
I don't know, an infestation. If you got like 30 of them bitches crawling around,
Eh.
just waiting to crawl up inside you.
I mean, the violence.
I don't believe in the shit, but
The violence of the activity. If these stories are accurate and not exaggerated, very few haunting stories
are violent.
outside of Hollywood are this violent.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a scratch here and there. We've covered demonic.
Yeah, it's usually like a fucking like a wisp of your hair getting like
or
barely
even
tugged.
pulled. I mean, I can only think of one thing that seemed to be maybe this violent. That was what the Zozo, the episode we did. What was his name? Where it didn't throw him or his kids down the stairs. I mean, there was some. There was
the one from a couple weeks ago where that allegedly tried to hang the guy.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, he could have just walked to it around the corner.
I would have to say that's probably what happened.
But most hauntings, as disturbing as scary as are, don't really get
Violent,
super
physically violent,
to where
to where you're moving a human body.
like. Here's the thing: I've been in situations. I've lived in haunted homes with activity. We should say. I never once feared for my life.
No. The craziest shit that I've ever experienced was, at worst, something that happened that made me go, "Oh fuck!"
Right.
Like
But,
that's about it.
I mean, Diane was dragged across floors, choked, bruised by something.
Mm.
Most
Was the dad a drunk?
that's possible, I guess.
It's legitimately fucking a thought.
And
for
let's
real.
be honest, most poltergeist activity has a lifespan.
Yeah,
Once
couple years.
the female gets out of puberty,
It tapers off.
and this one lasted for over a decade.
Yeah, and it lasted allegedly through other
Decade, after they left.
inhabitants of the house.
So that makes it a little bit more interesting.
That's no longer a poltergeist
right. That's more.
by definition, unless we're talking about unless we're going further into how poltergeists work that nobody's really fucking tried to dive
This
into.
is why I think maybe if this is all real, and I've often said I do believe there's something to. This is like a good conspiracy. There's a little truth in all of it.
Yeah.
So there is something to this.
Yeah, that house was probably fucking creepy somehow. And there might have been some weird shit going on.
And I think that my theory, or not my theory, or what I think, but if there is a poltergeist activity going on, it could be a beacon to invite something else in. That's why things kind of lingered, but it was not as intense.
Oh, because if you believe in the demonic side of all this shit, then it's gonna see that weakness and it's gonna prey on it.
Right.
Because that's a known thing, and as far as demonic possession and stuff like that, when people talk about that, they prey on the weak. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I hate hearing people talk about that shit. I'm like, when they're like, they prey on the weakest of will and da-da. I'm like, you're literally just making a ghost story up and taking shit that you learned from David Attenborough about lions and fucking turning it into a ghost.
I do think there is something to that, because
because it just makes sense.
Like the Ouija board.
Yeah.
And my ghost.
Yeah, it only affects those that are easily fucking influenced and swayed one way or the other.
And my ghost hunting career, as short as it was, I did not.
It's not over. We're going to get back to it.
I did not follow the rules. I did things just
Fuck
like
no.
we used the Ouija board
incorrectly.
Did not close it out. We didn't.
It's been in this house ever since. It's the same fucking one.
Same one. Now, I don't know where the planchette's at, and we're all still here.
This guy stole it.
Tech 9 stole it.
The Black Monk stole it.
So, and I do think, like I've kind of always said this, I don't ever worry about getting possessed.
No.
Because here's a demon don't want to get in my head and go, oh fuck, I'm out of this.
Yeah,
I can't deal with this shit. This
Well,
motherfucker's crazy.
It's like
Hell,
and I don't think
better.
either of us really believe in the shit either.
I know. I think it's very possible.
I think it's fucking schizophrenia 99.99999%
I wouldn't go
of
that
the time.
high. I would go 75 to 80%. It's misdiagnosed.
I think that's way low.
I think there are cases where,
Or insert other mental disorder. Bipolar.
I mean, some of the physical stuff that goes on.
Yeah, I mean, there's another. There is a demonic possession story that I have on my list. I forget which one it is. It's like pretty rough.
I look at possession, demonic possession, or even spiritual, like a UFO. Most of it
Probably bullshit.
is explainable.
Oh well, yeah, or yeah, same thing.
But there is a portion of that I don't know.
I look at possession as 9/10 of the law. That's about as far as it goes in my reality.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I do believe
It's a fun
that
story.
there's something to it. Just what causes it and what it is a whole nother issue.
Yeah, and I don't put any credence into the more extreme theories of what was going on there.
What do you mean by
I think it was just blown out of proportion.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think if all this shit was true, it was just kind of an amalgamation of poltergeist activity mixed with subliminal influences on what the poltergeist activity was doing.
And like the aberration could be a Tulpa-esque kind of thing because of the poltergeist
It could have
activity.
just been a fucking home invader. I mean, if you think about it, like how many times did we hear about it? It didn't seem to pop up a lot. They could have just been burgled.
Well, see, I think there's a difference.
We've been taken for all our Earl Grey and crumpets.
I won't go that far because there is a big difference
Well, yeah,
between
no, I'm
aberration and a
motherfucker in the room.
yeah. There's a big fucking difference.
Surprise, motherfucker. Is her dad coming home drunk?
That very well could be.
Is this in my fucking room?
But there is. I would, if I had to bet the mortgage, I would say like the story going up the stairs, probably exaggerated a little bit.
Yeah, they Jack and Jilled that bitch.
I mean, I'm sure something happened. I'm sure she was attacked and moved in a certain way. Now, I find it hard to believe for any entity to have the power to pull a 14, 15, 16-year-old girl, whatever she was at the time.
Oh, I agree.
That probably at least weighed 115 pounds.
Fat bitch.
Or at least 100 pounds. Up.
How old was she?
Well, she was 12 to 14 when it started.
Yeah. I'd say that's a fair estimate.
So
what is that in stone?
I think that's a weight measurement, not an age measurement.
It is. I'm saying, what is 100 pounds in stone? How many stone was she?
I fucking no idea.
I think that's
like you like to say. I measure in American.
I measure in freedom.
Freedom. That's it. All right, that's all I got. I mean, I think it's interesting.
It's a fun story that I think definitely got fucking sensationalized because clearly if they're leading tours there's a fucking paper trail that we know of now. What we don't know is how far back does that paper trail go.
Something happened. The family experienced something, but probably it's not quite to the level of which the story portrays it at.
Yes. Time. It's every ghost story is a fucking fishing story.
Well, and that's over time. In my day, it was like this, you know. So it always better. So as time goes by, the telephone game,
yeah.
So I'm sure the story has morphed, and I caught a fish this big.
That's what I'm saying.
And it was a fucking minnow.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, but
then you catch people like us that tell the truth.
All right, we are going to get out of here. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends.
We'll be back next week with a who the fuck knows.
But thanks for listening. We will be back next week for another episode. All right, we'll see you next week. Take care.